Welcome to T-Boys TV. Whoa. 1 second, people. Bloody hell. I'm trying to get copyright straight away. Bloody hell. But yeah, that was actually my own video on the TV, so that's just great, isn't it? But yeah, obviously we are here for another Hatter Show, episode 259. And my dad is not on today's. He's not feeling too great. So it's just myself today. So yeah, a lot of things I will be getting into. Obviously the Wigan game. I will do player ratings. And then obviously we got the game tomorrow. There's been call-ups and there's been a bit of transfer news has come out. So I'm going to get my thoughts on that as well. So yeah, it's going to be, a lot of things to talk about. So let's dive straight into it. Big up to Rich in the comments. He puts evening. Big up to yourself, mate. Hope you're well. But yeah, Wigan Athletic reaction. The reaction as a whole, I won't really go into it too much because obviously I did do a match reaction. It was shorter than I actually wanted it to be, I'll be honest. I didn't realise I sort of breezed through it. And I only done it for 4 minutes. So apologies, the reactions were a bit short, especially mine in particular. But it also was a bit of a mad one because obviously I've been doing it in this pub. Shout out to the pub, obviously I'm going there tomorrow. And it was sick. So we done it so usually we do it outside the front. But we actually done it like in the garden bit. And I asked Jamie, oh yeah, can you ask him to turn the music down a little bit just so we could do this reaction? And they already turned it down. Do you know what I mean? And then there was people watching from the window, there's people behind. Do you know what I mean? So you know that saying, bit of pressure. Yeah, it felt like that a little bit. But as soon as you do it, you're sort of in the groove. But yeah, that's probably why it's a bit shorter. But yeah, tomorrow's I'll try and obviously dissect it a bit longer. Obviously, if it is a good game, obviously if it is a dull game, then it's a bit hard. But yeah, it was one of them, Rich. There was a little bit of pressure up. But there was this nice person there actually. He was actually a Tottenham fan, and he was like saying nice stuff to me. He was like, "Oh, keep doing it, mate. Like you'll get far, and you'll succeed." And you know what I mean? It was just nice comments you like to hear, and it's sort of like, do you know what I mean? Like since I've been there, I've sort of got a lot of respect anyway, and do you know what I mean? They like what I do and stuff. But then even like just regulars that go in there are seeing it, and do you know what I mean? It's pretty cool to be fair. Because I'll be honest, like the pub I went to before that, do you know what I mean? Like if a Premier League game was on, they'd show that. So for example, obviously you've got Man City, Tottenham early kickoff tomorrow, haven't you? Like, even though they're the Premier League, the more people that request for a Luton game, for example, obviously it'd be me, Gary, obviously Jamie, and you never know, there might be someone else who'll want to watch it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they'll put that on because there's more people that request it. They won't put it on just because it's the bigger team and all that rubbish. Do you know what I mean? So I do like that as well. On top of that, so yeah, like I say, I will be there again tomorrow for the game. But yeah, going into the Wigan game itself, big up to Jackie in the chat as well. And yeah, going into the Wigan game. Now, the first half, obviously we got an early goal. And I did say in my match reaction, I think that massively helped. I think getting an early goal in this game, especially the way we anticipated Wigan to play, being one of them teams who are going to sit back and try and get a point. It really helped getting that early goal in the first half. Obviously, Saville and Walsh's first assist of the season. Obviously, still hasn't quite scored for Luton yet. Him and Nordas in particular are players I want to score. Like if you ask me the players you want to score the most for Luton, I'd probably say them. Obviously it was a good ball, good cross, Saville, good finish. Not really not really the person you'd expect to score. But he did score. It's a very, very good finish, and it's been a great week for him. Obviously he scored, got the winning goal for us. Obviously got called up for Northern Ireland, as you would expect. And yeah, he's had a really, really good week. So yeah, fair play to him. Like I said, I did think personally he was our best player at Peterborough away as well. I just thought compared to what we see in the first game against Wimbledon, whether that was what he got told to do, be higher up, it just didn't really work. Whereas, this game and, particularly the Peterborough game, I felt you just see him do what he's there to do. As Matt Bloomfield said, the important the important role and work in the sense of the slide tackles, breaking up the play. Do you know what I mean? The things like that. And, I still believe we need another CDM. Obviously he's going to be a starter for us out of the CDM section. We don't play Lamine in CDM. I just feel we need a backup just in case he gets injured or something. Even if it's someone, younger, obviously coming through, I don't mind that. But obviously there's other priorities. But I wouldn't mind, once we've eventually done that business on the wing backs, and maybe a creative sort of 10, as people are saying. If we go in and sort of try and get a backup CDM, I do feel we still need that because, yes, it's like loads of other positions. We've got players that can play there, but they're not really ideal to play there. So for me, I feel we need to get just a backup, just a backup there. And again, you like to have 2 players in every position, really. So, I'm going off that basis. But yeah, do let me know if you agree with that. But yeah, like I say, first half, obviously, we've got the early goal, which really helped. And then I don't really know what happened after that. I mean, the ending of the first half, we weren't so great. I mean, Josh Keely was obviously immense in this game. The only thing I will say is obviously when he dropped the ball, nearly cost us. I do feel if we played better opposition, they probably score, whether that's Huddersfield, Stockport, probably even Cardiff. Someone like that probably do score. And that is my worry, my only worry with him. I like how he is with his distribution and things like that, but it does worry me when he comes out sometimes, the way he does, because I don't know. It just seems like, I don't know if it's him or the defence. Sometimes, I don't know. Let me know if you agree. But it just seems like there's no communication sometimes when he comes out. I mean, look at the one against, I think it was it Bradford? Might have been Bradford, where he nearly fell when he jumped up. I think he headed it away. It's just them moments, them only worrying moments with him. But as a keeper, some of the saves he was doing, he kept us in it. And he was, he's the reason we got a result, really, let's be honest. I mean, my favourite save personally out of that game was the one in the first half where he's sort of dived like that, and then the ball came back up in the air, and then someone headed it away. I think it might have been Alli, actually, or I don't know who it was, actually. But either way, and then we just booted it away. That was my favourite save personally from him. But yeah, he is bringing that attribute. I like to see that he comes out. And there was a save he done, actually, another save that I did like, when, what's their striker's name? Paul Mullin, that's it, when he was through. And it was not really a save a keeper would make. But even then, that was a good save. I like that save. But like them sort of positions, I like him coming out. Do you know what I mean? Because, they've obviously managed to get the ball past the defence. It's just when a defender's already there and he runs out, jumps. Sometimes I don't like that personally. It's a bit of a worry when it comes to things like that. So yeah, first half we did drop off a little bit towards the end, I'll be honest. But the start of the second half, I thought we were really good. Dictating play, obviously made some substitutions. Attacking substitutions. Obviously, Kadoa come off. Did look like a bit of a scare, but I think he is going to be okay for tomorrow. Thank God for that, because I think the last 2 games, Bradford game is the best player for me. And then obviously last game, there was a tackle we done in the game, actually, in the first half. And what a tackle that was. I'll be totally honest. I'm not expecting him to make a tackle like that, especially more of a forward-thinking player. That was an absolutely brilliant tackle. So yeah, massive credit to him. Nordas come on. Like I said in my match reaction, I thought he was very unlucky, man. Very, very unlucky. That turn he did, unbelievable. Unbelievable. He was unlucky at the end of that effort. The one where he hit the post, oh my days, that was so unlucky. Fans thought that was in at the ground. And then obviously the last one, the header, he probably should have scored, I'll be totally honest. But, that's more promising signs. Like I said in the match reaction, if you compare that to his performance against Boreham Wood, again, I know it's a friendly, people say that, but he had 4 big chances in that game. and he should have scored in that game. And again, yes, he maybe should have scored the last chance, but the other two chances were better. If you compare it to the four he had at Boreham Wood. So, yeah, I think Nordash, you've got to be putting him in the team. And I didn't really agree with them Bloomfield comments when he was saying, obviously about, I need to, he needs to get in the swing of things. Like, how's he going to get in the swing of things if you're not if you're not even putting him in the squad? Do you know what I mean? I don't like that. So that's why at the time I had all them question marks. Is he maybe going to be on the way out? It would have been harsh, given he didn't really have a chance. But we are like that sometimes with players. I mean, look at the strikers we've had over the years. Joe Taylor, you could argue Pebble, whether you think he was good enough for us or not. He didn't really get a chance to show it. So we've had that with players. So, that's why I thought it could potentially happen with him. Obviously, thankfully, it hasn't, because I do think he just needs that goal. Give him a lot of confidence. I mean, you sort of saw it in pre-season when he got a couple of goals. He started getting a lot of confidence. I've said it. I do believe his link-up play is really good. But like I say, he just needs that goal. But he's getting close. He is getting close. But, yeah. And then, obviously, the end of the game, they had that mad moment, Wigan, didn't they, where the goalkeeper nearly scored. Yeah, we were holding on a little bit, I'll be honest, towards the end of the game. But we did get the result again, like I said in the match reaction, and like I said with Gary. It's not a vintage performance, but, it's another win, And there was this stat, which I saw actually, I believe it was yesterday I saw it. Unbelievable. I know we obviously, been in League One for a while, but unbeaten since 2008 at home. So Luton are unbeaten across their last 25 home games in League One, winning 18, drawing 7, since a 1-0 defeat to Huddersfield Town at Kenilworth Road in May 2008. So again, I guess it sort of links to what I said the other day. You've got to make your home form count now, especially the fact we got 2 home games coming up. Obviously you've got, we did, obviously Wigan, now we've got Cardiff, which, like I say, obviously we'll go a bit more into the Cardiff game later, but I do think they'll approach the game differently to the opening 2 games we've had at home against Wimbledon and Wigan. I expect Cardiff to give it a go. I expect them to come at us, because at the end of the day, whether you think it or not, they see it as like us. They want to be right up there come the end of the season, obviously coming down from the Championship. So could it benefit us? Could we see a better, performance based on that? I'm not too sure, but I do expect them to come at us. And I do expect it to be a different approach, to what we've had to deal with from the opposition teams coming to Kenilworth Road so far. So, again, let me know your thoughts on that. But yeah, that's my overall thoughts of the game, really. I'll get into the player ratings. So when it comes to this game, so Keely in goal, obviously he got man of the match at the ground. Like I say, the thing holding me back, and I said it in the match reaction, from giving him man of the match is that moment where he dropped the ball. People might say, oh, it's harsh or something, but he does have these little moments where I do worry sometimes. But other than that, the saves he done, like I say, that one-on-one with Mullin, that save read, that one in the first half, brilliant. So you've got to give him a high rating, because the amount of he kept us in it. Like, let's be honest, he was a massive reason we won the game. So I will give him a 7.5 for this game. Obviously, when it comes to that against Wigan. But yeah. And then moving on to the next player, Longwick. Good to see that he was actually in centre-back, where I wanted to see him for this game. Didn't think he was too bad, but I have seen better from him, I'll be honest. He weren't awful or good. He was just sort of in the middle for me. So I'll go with a 6.5 for Longwick in this game. Big up to Terry inside. He says, Keely, 8, very confident for young keeper. Much better prospect than Kaminsky. Yeah, I said it when we signed Keely. I believe he can go on to be better than Kaminsky. And obviously, you guys know I did like Kaminsky, but I like the way Keely is with distribution. He's much better than Kaminsky was, I'll be honest. He's much more commanding. The defence does seem more confident. But like I say, it's just them individual moments sometimes which I do worry. But yeah, overall, he's a top keeper. Like you say, he's still young, so he's still got a lot to learn. You know, Tottenham fans obviously rated him highly. You know, they're a Premier League team that won the Europa League. So, you know, if they're saying that and he was not even in their three goalkeepers, you know, that tells you something. I do believe he will be a Premier League keeper in, you know, whenever coming up. Maybe not for us, I'll be honest, but I can see him being in the top league. Josh 8 says Jackie. Nigel 7. Longwick 7, very good header near the end of the match. Like him at centre half. Yeah, he's much better in centre half. I don't like this wing back talk with him. I don't. Yes, he's been all right in some games there, but me personally, I don't think he can persist with it as the season goes on. But yeah, moving on to the next player, McInness. Now, I'll tell you what, fair play to McInness. I thought he was much, much better than Bradford. It's probably not hard, but when you think about it in the sense of, you know, obviously recovering from the illness, and he was just awful. Like that was his worst game. I'll be honest. I've seen him play for Luton against Bradford, but this game, really, really good. You know, considering obviously still getting into the swing of things. There was some nice headers back. You know, calm headers to Keely, and I did like this performance from McInness. Like this is the McInness I'm used to seeing. I'll be honest. You know, let me know. Am I overreacting, or do you agree with me? Do you think it was a good performance from McInness? But I actually think it was good, especially compared to the last game. I thought he was still going to have shaky moments. So I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 for this game. Big up to Andy. Josh 8. Nigel's 6. McInness 7. Very good second half. 7 says Terry. McInness 6. Was better, but you can see he's not quite there yet. Yeah, he's not to like the level of the Derby away game. You know, no way. But I think there was a lot more promising signs from him in the sense of, you know, again, you compare it to the last game before that, and just the fact there was just little moments he done which just reminded me of him last year is what I'm trying to say. But we'll be massively up for it tomorrow if he starts. Yeah, obviously did get him from Cardiff as well, didn't we? So yeah, it'll be interesting when it comes to that. Moving on to Naismith, again better than the Bradford game. You know, obviously did pass it to Walsh for Walsh to then cross it into Saville for the first goal. And yeah, I thought Naismith was all right. I'll just give him a 7. You know, I don't think it was anything special, but it was a much better performance than his performance against Bradford. So yeah, Kadoa. Again, I'll give Kadoa another 7. That tackle he done, though, like I say, that was an immense tackle in the first half. Really, really good tackle. And yeah, you know, obviously he had that you know, precaution where he come off. It seems like he's going to be okay for tomorrow. I hope he is, because me personally, I'll be starting him again if he is. It seems like he will be okay. So yeah, I'll give it again another 7 for Kadoa. Naismith 7, a lot better, says Terry. Yeah, absolutely. Naismith 6. Jackie's gone with a 7. Kadoa works really hard. Yeah, exactly. And you've got to think, like, I know he can play there, but it's not really ideal. And you know, I talked to West Ham fans when he played in that FA Youth Cup final against Arsenal at the Emirates. Obviously, he was playing up front. He scored that, you know, wonder goal. And every time they used to watch him, he played up front. Do you know what I mean? So to be doing a job like that for us, you know, again, another young player still, not really his position, you've got to give him credit. Again, I think it's similar to when you put Longwick as a wing back. It's not going to work throughout the season, you know, if you keep persisting with it. But for now, he should be playing. 7.5 says Jackie. Big up to YT member. Good to see you in here, mate. He's gone with an 8. Kadoa 7 says Andy. Moving on to the other side, Bramall. Again, I would have started Bramall for this game. again, you know, Bramall's looked decent considering, again, similar to Yates, he hasn't really had a pre-season. Again, I'm going to go with another 7. I know it's repetitive, but I think there was decent moments. People are saying, you know, as he gets fitter and fitter, he can be a starter for us as a wing-back if we do persist with that formation. I think he can, but I still think we need to get someone else because the way I look at it, if he gets injured, right now, we're going to be putting Alli as a wing-back, and we don't want to see that, you know. So, yes, he wasn't great up front. I'll be honest, Alli. He was actually better when he played as a wing-back, but I feel we need to play wingers, you know, like if we were to change formation, go to like a 4-3-3, but you know, we need to get another left back in for me. So yeah, for me, I'll give him a 7, let's say. Bramall 7, gave us a lot more balance, 7. Bramall 6, says Andy. Moving on to, we'll go over to Saville. Did get the goal. I am going to give him man of the match. I did give him man of the match away at Peterborough. I am going to give him it in this game as well. Not even the fact he scored. Yes, I know he got a yellow card, but he made himself known. And I did say he could be a little bit of a unsung hero for us this year. You know, in that CDM role, majority of the season. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to give it to him. I thought he was good. I did think he was good in this game. And let's be honest, we didn't really expect him to score. Wouldn't have had that on our bingo card, but we'll take it. You know, we'll take it, which actually puts him top of mine and my dad's votes. And by the way, my dad did go with Keely for this game. So, yeah, our votes so far, we get Anderson's got 2 votes, Saville's got 3, and Keely's got 1. So, yeah, that is my dad's man of the match as well for this game. Saville, 7.5. Yeah, fair enough. Got stuck in again. Good finish. Yeah, exactly. Not really a finish, like I say. You'd expect a CDM to score, to be fair. And yeah, like I say, he's had a great week. Obviously, he got called up for Northern Ireland, as you would expect, because I know the delay in the transfer of him coming to us was because he was playing for them. But I might have a little, you know, eye on their games, to be fair, depending who they're playing and what type of games they are. Because I'll be honest, if they're friendlies, I don't know really. I'm not really. I'm sure you guys are the same. If they're friendlies, you're not really interested. Even with England, I'm not really, to be fair. Right, no, they're actually playing World Cup qualifiers, and they've actually got Germany in one of the games. So that is a good test for him. That is a good test. I mean, I know they're not quite the same team, but you know they've still got quality players. Like obviously Wirtz being one of them, who's gone to Liverpool for X amount of money. I'm just having a look at England are playing as well. Yeah, England should be winning their games. But yeah, we'll talk a bit about that a bit later on. So yeah, let's have a little bit of Hilton in 7.5. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, to be fair. Moving on to Walsh. Again, I thought he was decent. Obviously got the assist, like I say, first assist of the season for him. And yeah, like him and Nordas are the players I do want to score the most. You know, Walsh has obviously had a few close efforts, you know, obviously shots from distance and stuff in, you know, a few games for us. But yeah, I thought he was okay. I'll give him a 7. Again, another 7 for Liam Walsh in this game. Moving on to Clark, very, very unlucky in the first half when he had that moment. You know, obviously running through all the players, then obviously had the shot. He deserved to score that. And, you know, we know he's a, I guess you could say, magician with a ball at his feet, you know. And I feel, like I say, I feel if you use him in an advanced role, you know, like we saw, again, people go, yeah, but it was only against, I can't remember, it was against Gillingham. But, like, you saw him in that advanced role in that game. Obviously, he got 2 goals. I just think he's much more beneficial there and he can cause threat. So, yeah, for me in the game, I thought he was good. Again, another 7 for Clark in this game. Terry's gone with Walsh man of the match. So has Andy. Run the midfield, set the goal up. Yeah, and it was a very good cross, to be fair. I believe it's with his left foot as well, if I'm correct, and he's right-footed, if I remember rightly. 7.5 for Clark, 7 for Clark. Clark, Walsh 7, Jordan 7.5, my man of the match says Jackie. And then moving on we'll go over to Alli. Like I say, I said going into the game, I wouldn't mind him up front, whether he starts there or comes on there. He weren't really great up front, I'll be honest. I mean, he was sort of better when he come on as when he moved back as a wing back. Obviously, he had that shot. That was a good shot. And that's what I want to see him do more. Driving at players, taking on shots from distance. It's not even just him. I just want to see us take shots from distance more. I mean, we've done it a few times in this game. We was unlucky. Think about it. The Nordas chance, hit the post. His chance, save. You know what I mean? So I do want to see us do that more. But yeah, I thought when he moved back, he was better, I'll be honest. So I'll go 7. I'll go with another 7. Jackie's gone with 7. Andy's gone with 7. Terry's gone 7.5. Good second half. Yeah, I'd agree. And then moving on to Yates. Now, there is this stat actually on Yates, which I will read out, but I'll talk on his performance first. It's a difficult one because he's still getting into the swing of things, isn't he? Obviously, he hasn't had a pre-season. But this might give people a little more confidence if you haven't seen this with him. One positive for Yates is that when he was last at this level, he managed 20 goals from 44 games. That came after he went the opening 8 games of the campaign without finding the net as well. So, on top of that, he probably had a pre-season that year. I'd have to have a look what year that was, but he would have had a pre-season with whoever he was at, which I assume was probably Blackpool. I might be wrong, but either way, I'm sure he had a pre-season with them. And yeah, he still ended up getting 20 goals. So I think for him, it's a difficult one because he hasn't been getting service, a lot. Or particularly in the Bradford game, he did. But then it was you're expecting him to he's not really known for scoring headed goals. So, he's more of a player where the ball's got to be at his feet, to make things happen. So there is also that. But I do believe he will come good for us. I believe there's a player there. Like I've always said, guys, since we've, been announced with him or officially signed him, to get 14 goals in a team that finished 23rd in the championship, there is a player there for me. Certain clubs it just hasn't worked, and I would probably argue that is what the case is with Derby and Swansea. Well, not really Derby, but more so Swansea. So that's how I see it. But I did see that earlier, and I was quite interested in that. And you got to think as well. Bloomfields had he took a while to get a win as a manager for us. And I think it might have took roughly the same amount of games, 8 games. Maybe correct me if I'm wrong. Might be more, might be less. But yeah, it takes a while, but he hasn't had a pre-season. So I think, we have got to factor that in with him. Issue with Alli, trying to run into the space Bramall's run into, which is where he should be. Yeah. Yates 5.5. Yeah, as a rating for Yates, I'll give him a 6. I guess I'll give him a 6. But like I say, it's not because he was bad. It was just, he's still getting into the swing of things. Didn't get much service, says Terry. 6.5, says Jackie. And then moving on to the subs in this game. Nordas, very, very unlucky. Like I say, 3 chances. Like I say, you could argue he should have scored the last one, but the first 2. Mate, that turn. Oh, mate, that was sick. I'm not gonna lie. Shame he didn't score in the end of that. But yeah, I'll give him a 7. I'll give him a 7 for this game. I think there was promising signs from him, like I say. Nelson, I'll just go over 6.5. Can't really think of too much if I remember rightly from him. And then Holmes obviously come on at the end, so I'm just gonna give him a 6. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Very good. Worth a start, says Terry. So yeah, they are my player ratings for this game. Obviously against Wigan. Man of the match, I give it to Saville. Dad has give it to Keely. So yeah. Norda 7.5, Nelson 6, says YT member. Yeah, fair enough, mate. And then moving on to the game tomorrow. We do take on Cardiff. Let me just go through Jackie's. 7, 6.5 for Nelson. But yeah, moving on to the game against Cardiff City tomorrow. Now, like I say, I'm expecting them to come at us. I am. I did watch their highlights because obviously it was at the same time as us. I can watch the game against Wimbledon. And to be fair, Wimbledon had chances. And, people say, oh, we scraped it against them. I mean, they did. Let's be honest. And if you did see the goal they scored, me personally, I thought it was a bit fortunate. And again, you could say ours was. But, Wimbledon's going to be a difficult team for a lot of people. I'm not taking away the fact that we should have performed better. But yeah, whatever players were asked to do in that game, the likes of Saville, Walsh, it didn't work. So yeah, I did see that. And I thought Wimbledon had a lot of chances. I probably should have scored. But yeah, I have watched. I watched their game against Peterborough. The first half they should have scored. Cardiff. And then they come out, whatever they was said at half time, it worked. And they just, obviously won the game in the end. The Port Vale game, they weren't great. Thought Port Vale were quite unlucky, to be fair, not to win that game. And, you can see as well, again, guys, like I say, I want us to perform better. But when I think about it, Cardiff, when they're playing teams that are low blocks, they're not exactly blowing the world alight. I mean, you could argue the Rotherham one, but I don't rate Rotherham, man. I never have. The best thing about them is Nombe, if I'm going to be totally honest. And I don't think he was available for that game when they played each other. Otherwise, they'd probably scored at least one, and it'd have been him. I'm just going to double check, but I'm sure he wasn't playing in that game. No, it wasn't. So yeah, they're just a mid-table team. Do you know what I mean? They're not really a team that's going to be down there. Rotherham, I don't think. But yeah, like I say, they've obviously scraped it, or not even won the game. Like I say, obviously their game against Port Vale. So it's going to be an interesting game. Like I said the other day, I do think there'll be more goals in this game because the way both teams will approach it. We're at home, so we need to sort of put a stamp on it. But then they're a team who want to be up there come the end of the season. So, they've got to try and do something really in the game. So it's gonna be interesting, this game. But yeah, we'll go into a little bit of insight on this game, what Bloomfield has said going into this game. Cardiff's going to be a really stern test to see where we're at. They are a good footballing team with some good young players that have energy and individual ability about them. They have a real identity, so it's going to be a tough game for us. We need to let the next 24 hours play out and make sure we know physically that we've got a team that is ready to go and run on Saturday because it's going to be a tough game. That's really important to us, have the energy and physicality to really take on this challenge. Their manager going into it. The most important thing for us on Tuesday was to show that we'd improved since the 0-0 draw at Port Vale. It's been referenced at how happy we were to get the result we did at Port Vale and how keen we were to improve on certain aspects of the performance. We showed that in the game on Tuesday. We had an increased level of our performance and we need to improve again on Saturday to give ourselves a chance to win against a team of Luton's calibre. We believe we're capable of doing that, and over the next 2 days, we're doing a lot of work to respect their strengths and play as well as we can to win the game. So yeah, I've said about their forms. I won't really go into that. Obviously, last time we met 2-1, obviously in the Championship. We did think at a time it could be massive for us, but it wasn't to be. Team news, Makoto's back. Let me know in the comments right now, do you put him back in for this game? Bloomfield said in his pre-match that there's still a question mark over Anderson's tight hamstring. Hopefully this is not another injury crisis for him, because I think, he's a decent option to have, but this is why fans get frustrated with him because of the injuries. Wells is back on the grass with Bloomfield being half hopeful of having him available. Hopefully he is. I do think we do need him, especially up front. Real Walters will be back for Burton by the looks of it. So that's the team news when it comes to this game. But yeah, going into some of the comments. YT member says, hard to look past Keely for man of the match. Like I say, the only thing holding me back is just that moment where he dropped it. Do you know what I mean? That's how I see it. Cole Will, their best player. Tanner out injured. Oh, really? Yeah, that's quite mad. If he's out injured. But yeah, Cole Will, yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd agree with you that he's their best player. Defo bring Price back. Yeah, moving on to lineups. We'll go into lineups now when it comes to this game. So when it comes to this lineup, oh, you won't be able to see me today. But this is what I've gone with. So Keely in goal, obviously. Back three, I've got Naismith on the left. I have kept McInness in, partly because we don't really know what's going on with Anderson, like Bloomfields obviously, said. And I thought McInness was all right, and it's against his former club. So hopefully he can do something, whether that's defend well or even chip him with a goal from a corner or something. Makoso, I'll put him straight back in. He's got to play for me. When you look at that back three, Makoso brings the pace element. But yeah, just don't be trying to knock anyone out. That'd be nice. Kadoa, obviously on the right, you got to play him for me. Nothing's come out on him, so I'm assuming he's okay for this game. Bramall, you got to play him for me, given he is really the only left wing back. And in the midfield, you got to stick Saville in. Obviously, did score. Walsh, again, obviously got the assist the other day, so you've got to put him in for that aspect as well. Clark, again, if you put him in the advanced role, I think it could really work for this game. And then up front, I put Yates to the bench for this game because, again, like I say, still getting into the swing of things. And I thought Nordas was good. As much as he didn't score, there was promising signs. And then, obviously, we're half hoping on Wells. But I'm going to say he's in. And I hope he is because he's probably, in fact, he has been the best striker for us so far this season. Obviously, was a part of that cross against Wimbledon, got an assist against Peterborough to set up Clark. Do you know what I mean? So I'm hoping he's in. And I do feel that could work fairly decent, him and Nordas, especially if Nordas not getting a goal yet. For confidence, Wells could hopefully slot it to him and he could finish it off and score a goal. So that is my lineup for this game. Let me know what you do think of that. But yeah, good team. Put Alli for Bramall. Fair enough. I mean, you could do that, and then you could bring obviously Bramall on. But I just feel in this type of game, me personally, against Cardiff, who will come at us, you've got to put someone who's more defensive minded for me. So that is why I go with Bramall for this game. So yeah, again, let me know your thoughts on it. But yeah, it is that time. Score prediction. Now I'll get into my dad's score prediction before I say mine. So he has gone with a 1-1 draw, and he's gone with Nordas to actually get the goal. That would be really good. I mean, a draw wouldn't be the worst result. Let's be honest, a team that's expected to at least be competing at the top like ourselves. But yeah, as for me, my score prediction for this game, I expect Cardiff to come at us. I expect them to come at us. So it could be a different sort of approach and it maybe could benefit us, as obviously the first two home games we've had, the teams are sort of, sat back and tried to get something out of the game. Makoso coming back could be massive for this game as well. So as for me, I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I'm going to back the boys. Also, when we played Cardiff last year, we done the double over them. And I do think we're the better team overall. So I'm a back us to win this game. Like I say, I'm going to say 2-1 to the Town. So yeah, that is my prediction for this game. And my goal scorers, I'm gonna go Nordas as well, and I'm gonna go Jordan Clark. I'm feeling a Jordan Clark goal, to be fair, which will make it his third goal. No, sorry, second goal. Yeah, I can't. Who scored the first goal against? Oh, Anderson, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah. So his second goal of the season. So yeah, Terry's gone 2-0. Walsh and McInness to score. McInness, that'll be good. That'll be good. 2-1. So Jackie, Jordan, and Nordas are same as me. I promised Jackie I was not looking. So yeah, 2-1 as well, says Rich. Yates double. Fair enough. That'll be good. But yeah, like I said, I'll definitely, as much as I haven't started him, I'll definitely be bringing him on for this game. He's still got to play minutes. It's not really working. And yes, it's down to service as well. But I just feel bring him on, for at least half an hour. If it's not really working with Nordas in the sense of he's still not managed to get a goal, then I'll definitely bring on Yates. So yeah, that's that when it comes to that. Snap. And there was a score prediction from Andy as well. And he has gone 2-1 to Luton for this game. So yeah, we shall see. We're all confident of a win, which is good to see. Bar my dad, he's gone for a draw, but I can't blame him, to be fair. If I didn't say 2-1, I would have said 1-1, to be fair. I think it'll be the other way around. Yeah, it probably. Do you know what, Rich? It probably will be. But yeah, I like Yates. I like Yates. Oh yeah, sorry, no, my dad done that for us. Yeah, sorry, I forgot to mention that. And it actually said 1-1. So I'm just going to stick with what it said for his. I don't know why it says different for you guys. I don't know if it's because you word it differently or what. I don't know. But I'm going to go 1-1. I'm going to go 1-1. My scores Tuesday was right. Yes, it was as well, Jackie. That reminds me. Sorry, I didn't even mention that. The points. Right, why is the buzzer going off? 1 second. Oh, flipping hell. I hate that buzzer. I'm not going to lie because it makes me jump as well. And it's like you can't even turn it down. I don't know if any of you, live in a flat yourself, but we tried to, you can't turn it down. Like on my old flat, you could turn it down. Or no, sorry, not turn it down, but you could mute it. You can't even do that. It might go off again. I'm not going to lie. Um, Flipping nightmare. Some people forget their keys. Do you know what I mean? Oh, so annoying. Um, but yeah, sorry about that. I can't even remember where I was. What I was talking about. Oh yeah, the scores. Yeah, yeah. So the scores. Flipping hell. 1 second. Sorry about this, guys. Oh, sorry about that, guys. Flipping hell. Right, I'm actually back now. Yeah, no rubbish. But yeah, apologies about that. As I was gonna read out, is the scores. That's Jackie's reminded me that she got it right. I will find them 1 second. So there you go. I'm on 3 points. My dad's on 1 point. Jackie, you're on 5 points. Rich, you're on 4. Paul, you're on 3. Stephen's on 4. Tom, you're on 1. Phil's on 2. Andy's on 2. Darth Vader, by the way, he come in late and he's got the last 2 games right. So he's on 7. Ben's on 2. Terry, you're on 2. Blitz, you're on 2. Chat GPT is on 3. And then Jamie's on 4. So, yeah, I'm not doing so great, to be fair. But it's still very early days. So, you got to think if I get it right, I could be right up there. Thank you very much. Bit of Lucozade. Look, by the way, guys, look at the size of these bottles. It's absolute madness, mate. I don't know if they look different on the camera, but I'll tell you what, if you see them in person, they're much bigger. It's pretty crazy. So yeah. But yeah, like I say, that's my prediction for the game. And then yeah, a few other bits before I end it today that I'm going to talk about. Bit of transfer news. Now Phillips, who obviously did feature a bit in pre-season and things like that, has gone to the Vanarama National League South for 28 days, which is quite interesting. I know, there's month loans sometimes and things like that. 28 days, that's just a bit of a random amount for me. But yeah, obviously he was in that league anyway last year, I believe, at Bath on loan. Obviously, he did extend his time at Luton. And by the way, when I put that out on TikTok, he actually saw it and liked it and reposted it, which was quite mad. But yeah, he's gone out there. Again, some people thought he was going to feature in the Virtue Trophy, but obviously that's not to be. But yeah, I feel a lot of our youngsters need to, as much as we have got more competitions, they need to be moved out and things like that. So I don't mind that, to be fair. But yeah, interesting. It's only 28 days. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And then the other thing I do want to talk about is international call-ups. So obviously Savile got called up, as we spoke on. Obviously going to happen. Chong got called up. Now, there's been a bit of controversy on this one, and Rich has just asked me my thoughts on it. I don't know, mate, because sorry, I got coffee up in the background. But yeah, so obviously, I'm a bit skeptical on this because, yes, I know he's come back into training, but we as fans don't know, what extent he's up to training in the sense of, is he going to be able to play? And again, I believe the internationals are, well, obviously they're next month, but is that enough time for him? Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not really surprised he's got called up for them. I'm surprised it's his first senior call up for them because I'll be honest, I've never seen them play football. I don't think they're great. It's probably their best player. So that's, partly probably why he got called up. But yeah, I mean, people are saying redemption. I mean, I hope there's a redemption arc from him, but I can't see it, guys, because the thing is, and I always say it, the more you go down in the English leagues, the more physical the game is. Yes, he was playing wing back a lot last year when he's not a wing back. However, he's not strong enough on the ball. You look at that game against Norwich, and again, I know he was playing as a wing back, but that was shocking from him. Shocking. You've got to hold the ball out and see it out. The fact that he didn't, and they played it across, it was easy as you like. Nah, mate. And let's actually deep it. His best performance, at Kenilworth Road was against us, for Birmingham. For me, when it comes to his time at Luton, yes, he had a good spell in the Premier League, that Liverpool goal. He scored against Tottenham away as well. But he's not good enough for me. And a large part of that is the physicality. But again, I'm not surprised he's got called up. I can understand people getting annoyed about it because he hasn't featured for us. It sort of seems like, yes, I know he's getting into the swing of things, but it sort of seems like he's, I guess, taking advantage. But then there's the other side where you can see, well, they're rubbish. They're rubbish. So he's going to get called up. And also the fact that anyone gets called up international wise, you're not going to turn it down. It doesn't matter who you are. Unless you're physically in a condition where you cannot play, which obviously he isn't, then you're not going to turn it down. So I can see it from both ways. But me personally, I just don't see him having this redemption arc. I don't see it. I really don't. And a large part of that, again, like I say, comes down to the physicality. He's much more physical in League One. Yes, he'll be good at driving at players, but that's it. Do you know what I mean? He'll probably drive too much and then flipping get an injury or something. No. Need to move on for me. That's how I see it personally, but we're not going to by the sounds of it. I mean, if any of you watch Bloomfield's press conference leading up to this Cardiff game, he was sort of gassing up Chong a bit too much for my liking. I don't think he's good enough. And again, like I said, I mean, when I was talking on him when he was linked to Preston, I actually looked at his record at Birmingham and it wasn't great. Now, I'm not really a stats person, but, I thought he was a lot better there than, it was made out to be. I thought he was really good there, but he didn't really get many goals and contributions, to be fair. So, yeah, I don't know. I just don't really rate him, to be, especially not for this league. Like, the physicality is the big sort of downfall for me. Yeah. Jackie's gone totally off Chong. Yeah, I'm the same. I mean, like I said, he had that Premier League sort of glimpse, didn't he? But yeah, Luton have just tweeted something. Just gonna have a look, see if it's anything interesting. No, basically they do the timetable for tomorrow, and they literally just put now some additions. So I thought like there was going to be a flipping signing announcement at the ground or something, but there's not by the looks of it. Like I did with Yates, like they've done before and things like that. So no, there's not. It's just it's stuff to be interested in if you're going. If you're not, then it's not really something that's gonna bother you. To be fair, or is it a shop window thing? See, I'm an interesting one on it. I mean, I don't really like the shop window narrative. I'll be totally honest with you because, for example, right, you look at a Premier League team like West Ham, right? They got so many midfielders that are just not great, and they've been put in there for the shop window. In a competitive game, I do not want to see none of the players that should not be at this football club in a competitive game starting. And that's how I see it with him. If he's to come on, fair enough. But I do not want to see him start any games for us this season. He could be a good player, to bring on if you're chasing a game in the sense of, their team's a bit, I guess, tired. Bring on a player that can sort of cause a threat. But I think from starting, I don't think he's good enough. I don't think his physicality is good enough for this level. So, yeah. I think it's questionable how Bloomfield announced his return to training and he was called up the next day. He feels very forced. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, to be fair, mate. I do hear what you're saying. Yeah. And it's the way he was going on about him. Like, don't get me wrong, Bloomfield, I do agree with 9 times out of 10, but I couldn't agree with him there. I mean, he was basically saying, a player is a great player to have in, whether that's the Premier League, the Championship. No. If he's that much of a great player, then why did we get relegated last year? He played loads of games. A lot of our team, and again, I know I say I want to get players in certain positions, but a lot of our team are versatile. They can play different positions. He cannot do that. He plays as a wing back last year, all over the place. Norwich away, crap. Loads of other games, crap, rubbish. Yeah, absolutely rubbish. Yeah, I went to a lot of games with one of my mates last year when you know and you know he obviously watched Chong a lot at Birmingham, and he was surprised with some of his performances at Luton. He couldn't believe it. So does that not tell you something? I don't know. I just know. And what annoys me, yeah, is you know just some of the pictures I see him post. Again, footballers, you can do what they want, pictures wise and things, but it's just like, mate, you're not this cool, mate. How many fucking goals have you scored the last couple of years? Sorry about the language, but it annoys me. It just annoys me. Like, we're not ruthless enough as well. I'll be honest, we're not ruthless enough. Like, we need to be. It's going to be that stage because we're at a stage now, right, where we need to sell players to get players in. Yeah, so we need to get to a stage where we need to start terminating contracts, mate. We should have done that with Moses. The fact that that ended until the last game of the season, and then we announced that, bro, we all knew he was gone. You know, nah, mate. And he was just sitting there on his Instagram stories. Oh, come on, Chelsea, blue hearts. Get in the bin, mate. Yeah, seriously. Players like that, no. If they ain't got the decency, yeah, when they're at another club to half respect and actually be available for the team, jog on. And I know players get injuries and stuff, but he was not injured, Moses. He just couldn't be asked to play. Yeah. But I just don't think Chong's good enough for this level. Yeah. I hope I'm proven wrong. But the physicality is the big thing for me. The further down you go in the English leagues, the more physical it is. And people might say, yeah, but he can run at players and cause havoc. Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see. Because if he's running at a defender that will just take anyone out, we'll see. We'll see how that ends up. So that's how I see it. Yeah, I know, obviously, Mengi as well. What I will say about Mengi, maybe it could be a benefit that he's back as early as he is to be, gotten rid of at the end of this summer window. Maybe. But we need to get players out. We need to get players out. And I understand, like Nakamba, for instance, it's going to be difficult to get rid of him because of his age. Like I said the other day, he's not really an attractive footballer with his age, the wages he's on. But you might have to be harsh. But well, people say it's harsh. It ain't harsh. We got back-to-back relegations. When we had him on loan, he was absolutely brilliant for us. But since then, let's be honest, guys, he ain't been good enough. So we've got to show that we are a bit harsh because I don't like this sort of soft way we are sometimes. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if you guys are the same, but yeah, it does annoy me sometimes. Like, we're just so lenient towards players, even players that have had like 5 appearances for us, have done nothing. Do you know what I mean? Like, this what annoys me as well, right? John Still, right? People call him a legend and obviously got us out of the conference, could argue where we got to, the Premier League. He was a massive part of that early stage. He got sacked. Yeah? He got sacked. Yeah? So these players that are not good enough for this football club need to be gone or liabilities. I'm sorry. I personally would be putting Chigoze on the bench who showed more potential than Tom Holmes. I'm sick of seeing him on the pitch as well. He's rubbish. There were some people on my TikTok the other day. There was people agreeing. I know people ain't going to agree with everything someone says. Fair enough. Some people saying, give him a chance. Give him a chance? Who's he getting ahead of? Anyone in the chat, tell me right now, with a fully fit defence, who is he getting ahead of? He ain't getting ahead of McInness. He ain't getting ahead of Anderson, I'd say. He obviously ain't getting ahead of Makoso. He ain't getting ahead of the captain, Naismith. He ain't getting ahead of Longwick, who's a loan player, so you've got to use him as much as possible. Yes, there's an option to buy, but still, Who's he getting ahead of? What's that? 5 players I've just named? Doesn't get ahead of Chigoze, in my opinion. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not good enough. I'm sorry, he's not good enough. Too many yellow cards. Too much of a liability. Let's not forget, that game where we beat Watford 3-0, great day. Our only good flipping game last year, you could say. Holmes nearly scored an own goal at the start of the game. Do you remember he passed it back to Kaminsky? What are we doing? Do you know what I'm saying? He's not good enough. I'm sorry, he's not good enough. Yeah, so that's how I see it. A lot of people agree with what I'm saying. Jackie says 100% agree. Well said, he's done for me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, I don't think they will, Rich. I don't think they'll happen at all. But for me, we need to start acting a bit more ruthless, because I'll be honest, I think this is why we get sort of taken the mick out of as well. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, Luton, who's going to watch them? Do you know what I mean? Because we just, in my opinion, we're soft. We're soft. We are. We are. Like, we all knew Moses weren't going to play again after that spell he had, for example. So why didn't we just terminate the contract? The guy was on holiday midway through a season when he's meant to be playing for us. What a disgrace. Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. Went away on loan. Could I? Yeah. And by the way, I checked that team a lot when he was out there because I just wanted to see how he'd do. So I saved them as a favourite team on Flashcores. I don't know if you guys have that and ever do that with a team. I've done that with everyone that's out on loan for us. Started doing it for Torquay earlier. Done it for Tranmere because obviously Harris is there. I like to do that just so I can keep an eye on them. Obviously, I don't follow them. It's just I do for them. But yeah, and he didn't. Yeah, like you say, he can barely get in. Like, does that not tell you something? Like, don't get me wrong, there was a spell out there where he was injured, but I just don't think he's good enough, mate. And like I said at the start of the year, if you were to ask me as more so of a backup, him or Anderson, I'm saying Anderson all day long, mate. Look what Anderson was like in League One last time. The only reason some fans are frustrated with him, rightly so, is he's got too many injuries. I haven't seen I've seen a few people go, oh, he's too slow, he's this, he's that. I don't care if the defender's slow. If they can read the game, which I think he can, especially at this level, I think there's a good option to have. Yes, when McInness is probably fully fit, you put McInness in. Especially if you stick with this back three, you go Naismith, McInness and Makoso. That's probably the best back three. But I think as an option to have, is a great option to have. I mean, look at last time for Barnsley, man. Like, in League One, he was their captain. And let's not forget, guys, he made the jump straight up from League One to the Prem. And I thought he started off all right, personally, for us. Obviously, got the first goal in the Premier League against West Ham at Kenilworth Road. Do you know what I mean? So I think as an option, there's a good player to have with him, And he's shown at the start of the season that he's decent. So, yeah, man, that's how I see it. Yeah, exactly. And I always say it myself, Rich, because a few people put this on my TikTok, oh, he's slow. And, mate, we had Sonny Bradley and Matty Pearson as a centre-back partnership. Tell me one of them that is fast. None of them, but they could read the game to a decent level, especially in that league. And they're both in the league now, so they're obviously good for this level still. So, yeah, that's... Yeah, but I know I say about pace with Makoso, with the back three. We did have pace then. Obviously, we had Jack Stacey and James Justin. But still, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't like this, they have to be fast narrative. Steven Gerrard was slow. He's arguably one of the best Premier League midfielders ever. Like, what is this narrative that they have to be fast? Like, do you know what I'm saying? I don't like it. As long as they can read it. Naismith ain't fast. Could be one of our best defenders. He's probably not the best, but he's up there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't like that saying. It just annoys me so much, man. It really does. So yeah. Went on a bit of a rant today, but yeah, it's one of them. McNulty, man, what a guy he is. But yeah, big up to everyone. Big up to everyone that's tuned into this Hatter show. Obviously, we do eventually, after this game, not play for a week. So obviously then we go into the Burton away game, which I think, obviously we'll see how tomorrow goes and how the Burton do on the weekend. I'm going to check who Burton have, actually. I don't think that'll be an easy game. Me personally, Burton away, I don't think it will. And they got Stockport tomorrow. Okay, they might lose that. I'm not going to lie. But then again, Bradford obviously better than Burton, but Bradford beat them. So, you never know, Burton could get something. Stockport just don't play great. But I do think that'll be a difficult game. But obviously, we look ahead to tomorrow. But like I say, we don't play for a week now. Obviously, after tomorrow. And then we go into the Virtue Trophy. It'd be interesting to see how we approach that in terms of players and things like that. But yeah, I'm not too sure. I'm just going to check quickly. Are they showing some of them games on TV? I think they might be. Yeah, they actually are. Oh, they're actually showing the Barnet game on TV. Yeah, six. So yeah, I'll probably go to that pub and watch that as well. So yeah, Burton game. I don't know what I'm doing with that yet. I'll be honest, but I'll let you guys know nearer the time. So yeah, and just quickly going on this comment. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm referring to when I talk about the players that are not fast. They can read the game, and was always in the right place. As long as the players can do that, not everyone's going to have a 10 out of 10 game. Players are going to have bad games. But if they can do that 9 times out of 10, it don't matter about the pace element. Do you know what I mean? That's just how I see it. When it comes to that. But yeah, big up to everyone. As for content tomorrow, obviously, like I say, I will be watching it. I will be live on TikTok again. Rich, I know you're a regular on there, so big up to yourself, mate. My TikTok obviously is in the description, so do follow me on there. I did hit 1,700 the other day on there as well. So big up to everyone that is following me on there. Like it says in the pinned section, and it is in the description, do join the Discord as well. Big up to everyone that has. We've got that more interactive now and things like that. I have content updates on there, the score updates that we're all interacting with in there as well. And we just talk Luton as well. So yeah, do join that if you're not already. Excuse me. And yeah, regarding the game, like I say, obviously live on TikTok. I'll be doing a match reaction as well. Hopefully get Gary on for another match reaction. I know people enjoying his match reactions. And yeah, from there on in, me and my dad will do a hat show. I think going forward, we're going to try it. Obviously, if he's recovered, we'll do hat shows on Mondays and Fridays going forward. They're going to be the stick days that we are going to do them going forward. I do believe. Maybe if we do at some point, I'm not sure without looking at it, but if we have a game on like a Wednesday, then maybe just for that week, we might do it on a Tuesday. But yeah, we tend to do them, if it's a midweek one and it comes out on a Monday, Bloomfields comments, press conference, then we'll do it on a Monday. But yeah, we'll just see when it comes to that. But yeah, like I say, big up to everyone that's tuned in, whether you're watching back on playback or not. Do smash a like, do subscribe, and good that YouTube is not playing up today, because obviously it was the other day, which was very annoying. Meant me and my dad had to redo it, do a pre-recorded one. But big up to everyone on that watched that. There was 3 new subscribers from that as well, so big up to everyone that did tune into that. And like I say, smash a like on here, do subscribe. Do follow me across all my socials. Subscribe to the extra channel, which is also in the description. And yeah, I will see you guys tomorrow for the match reaction. So yeah, big up to everyone that tuned in. And yeah, hopefully another 3 points. Come on, you Atters. Come on.